What's up, everybody out there? How are you doing? I want to say thank you so much for your love, your support. I really and truly do appreciate it. I want to welcome you new viewers, you returning viewers, as well as you subscribers. Everybody hit the like button, as well as leave a comment. We're talking about R&B divas over here. That's right. And I am about to talk about R&B diva Anita Baker. Yes, but before I talk about R&B diva Anita Baker, I want to talk about another R&B diva, if you will. And sorry about that, you guys. Hey, it is what it is. I want to talk about R&B diva Joyce Cinderella Irby. That's right, Joyce Cinderella Irby of Climax. Okay, she has a book out. The name of the book is called I Still Say Yes. The book is out. I am not affiliated with this book at all. It's just a book that I'm reading. I'm starting a book club. And this is my first book, okay, by R&B diva Joyce Cinderella Irby of Climax. You should know her, right? I Still Say Yes, and I Miss You. Big hits back in the 1980s with Climax. And of course, the book is out. I got my copy through Amazon. I don't know if it's out in any bookstores, but so far it's a great read. I am going to talk about it. I promise you I am. I'm just holding it off for right now. I'm still reading it. So go get a copy of the book. And yes, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys more about the book club and what it's going to be about. But you have to get the book first because we have to talk about the book. So yes, go ahead on and do that if you will. Get you a copy of Joyce Cinderella Irby's book, I Still Say Yes. Great, great, great. All right. Now, let's talk about R&B diva Anita Baker. All right. Woo! Well, from my understanding, I think Anita Baker is back out on tour, of course, and she's in the process of, hopefully, fingers crossed, bringing new music to us. And I'm looking forward to my Anita Baker fix. I need my Anita Baker fix. I promise you I do. So where do we begin in this Anita Baker story? You know, sometimes I open up with an R&B diva and I have a story to tell, you know, about that R&B diva. But for Anita Baker, I really and truly don't have like some kind of story to tell other than I fell in love with Anita Baker from the very beginning. Now, for whatever reason, and I'm not quite sure, I don't recall the initial introduction to Anita Baker's first album, The Songstress. Now, I do remember hearing the song Angel by Anita Baker, but that was after the Rapture album. So sometimes around within the Rapture album, that's when I started to hear the song Angel. Of course, fell in love with the song Angel, realizing that Anita Baker had another album out, a previous album, which would be The Songstress. And, well, if you're an Anita Baker fan, if you are day one Anita Baker fan, then you're going to understand what it is that I'm about to say. Now, when I hear the Anita Baker Songstress album, I get the true Anita Baker that we've come to love, like Anita Baker with Angel, Anita Baker with Caught Up in a Rapture, Anita Baker giving you the best that I've got. But there was also looked like Anita Baker was trying to really give us some slamming tracks, all right? Those fast songs, lack of a better term, you know. We're not really dabbling in music terminology over here, you know what I'm saying? But songs like Squeeze Me and Believe Me off of the Songstress album We don't see Anita Baker taking on those fast songs. And I really like, those are two of my favorite. Whenever I just really want to hear, that track that's pretty much in your face by Anita Baker, I go to those two tracks because, well, first of all, they're the only tracks that she has on her albums, except for, what's the name of that song? Watch Your Step. Watch Your Step on the Rapture album. However, now that I have the Anita Baker collection, like I'm a diehard, so I have all of Anita Baker's music. I don't have the Chapter 8 album, but I do have her solo work. And that's the only thing about Anita Baker's music that is lacking, for lack of a better term. Like, I hear that she's, as I said, maybe perhaps in the process of bringing us new music. Now, I don't know about you all, but now just let me know. How do you feel about Anita Baker singing a fast song, like a dance song, or, whatever you want to call it, an up-tempo song? Like, do you think that Anita Baker should just stay in her lane and do the tried and true method that is pretty much working for her? Or do you think this time around we should look at Anita Baker and go like, you might want to give it a try again, to give us that fast an up-tempo song? Or did you like the song Squeeze Me? I like it. Do you like the song Believe Me? Do you like the song Watch Your Step? Like, literally, like, or do we want to keep Anita Baker in that slow, mid-tempo type of sound? Now, for those diehard fans and even music critics alike, we are always looking forward to Anita Baker to give us that jazz album. We're still looking for her to do that. Will she ever do that? Will Anita Baker ever give us that jazz album that we were looking for from her? I think probably after the Rhythm of Love album, for sure. Somewhere in between Giving You the Best That I've Got in Rhythm of Love. So Giving You the Best That I Got, when did that come out? 1988? 1988. So somewhere between 1988 and, well, we could say now, of course, but I'm going to say 1988 and 1994. In that time period, we were definitely, did I say 98 or 88? Let me make sure I said 1988. Between 1988 and 1994, there was a lot of talk about, are we going to get a jazz album? Should we get a jazz album? But again, I'm looking at Anita Baker, the fact that, she doesn't have that, that fast song, that up-tempo song, that dance song. How do we feel about that? Have you guys ever thought about it at all? That, she doesn't have that song in her catalog where we can easily go and look. Ooh, that'd be messy. Ooh, that'll be so messy. Oh my gosh. See, y'all do this to me every single time. Dishing out a dirt or who drop kick to in these entertainment streets, literally and figuratively. Y'all do it. You know what I'm thinking? Well, I was thinking that maybe she could do a remake of a fast song. You know what I'm thinking? It'll be messy though, but I think she'll do it. And I think she'll do a good job at it. What if Anita Baker redid Luther Vandross's Never Too Much? Woo! That's cool. Well, the reason why I'm saying it's kind of, it'll be kind of messy because, Anita Baker and Luther Vandross really and truly haven't had, a good, eye to eye, seeing things eye to eye. But I really want that fast track I think I want that fast song, and I want Anita Baker to have that up tempo hit more so than I want that jazz album, because the jazz album will be for a particular. Well, it's a genre of music that we don't necessarily know if her audience would really go out and, I guess, oh gosh, like we can't even say purchase anymore. Can we say purchase? Or, are people just, buying music like that? How do people buy music nowadays? I mean, I have my collection that I want. So I'm not necessarily going out buying music like that, because I'm so glad I kept, you know what, I'm going to bring out my CDs one day in one of these videos. I've done it before. I think I'll probably do it again, and we just sit around and just go through and just talk about it. But anyway, let's get that fast track. Well, the reason why I brought up a remake, and I'll tell you why. Do you think she'll have a better chance at having a bona fide hit with a remake of a fast song versus her trying to go into the studio and do her fast song? And, word on the street is that Anita Baker would sing a Luther Vandross song during her concerts. And I think Never Too Much is still in that Anita Baker groove where we can still get, come on, y'all, let's cheer Anita Baker on. Let's cheer Anita Baker on. Somebody who you might even know Anita Baker. Tell Anita Baker, go. Tell her, say, you know what? Sing Luther Vandross is Never Too Much. Record that one. Yeah, I would love to hear that. But we don't get that in Anita Baker's catalog. And that's interesting to know. Now, for me, Anita Baker's music is the kind of music that you clean up to. It really is. I definitely put the music on when I want to just clean up and, around the house, so on and so forth. I don't recall Anita Baker music as the kind of music that you would play in a club or at parties or anything like that. It's definitely, shall I say, it's definitely a solo effort. And what do I mean by solo effort? Is something you play on your own. Like, it's not like you're just sitting around with company playing Anita Baker's music. That's not a diss. It's just that that's kind of like for me, that's how it's played. Unless I'm playing it, and I'm singing to the top of my lungs. Those who know me know I do that. I put a song in and and sing louder than a record. I do that, And people, my friends would say, now, why do you have the song, the record is playing loud, and now you're singing louder than the song? Like, why do you do that? I don't know. I just have fun. It's just fun to me. I don't know why. But anyway, back to Anita Baker's catalog. But then we go over into Rapture. Now, if you saw the video, and if you haven't, go check it out, the one with Dionne Warwick. When I discovered that, I didn't know that Dionne Warwick recorded No One in the World prior to Anita Baker. I was like, isn't that interesting? And checked it out. You know what? Anita Baker stayed right within the same, style as Dionne Warwick. And I must say, she did stray. And she gave a Dionne a run for her money when she was singing it. And I'm surprised that Dionne sung it that way. Dionne can sing. Now I got to be messy. This is just me not being messy. But I'll wait. The Rapture album. What do I want to say about the Rapture album? It's just a great piece of work to me. And it's unfortunate that Anita Baker will always, it's not Angel. I don't think Anita Baker is have to live up with the expectation of Angel. I think Anita Baker has to live up to the expectation of the Rapture album. I do. Every record she puts out, I compare to Rapture. I do. And not necessarily a particular single on Rapture. I'm looking at it as a whole, like the entire album. Like Rapture is that record for me that I can put in by Anita Baker and listen to it from beginning to end and be okay with it. Ooh, that's not necessarily the case. Compositions is another album by Anita Baker that I can literally put in from beginning to the end and be okay with it. So she has two records that I can do that with. I can do that with the songstress too. So that would make three. But, never mind. I was going to say something. Well, with the songstress album, there's a feel in there that kind of makes me feel like, okay, enough is enough and I have to stop or I have to play again. Ooh, that reminds me. There's another song on the songstress album when I'm talking about mid-tempo songs, Will You Be Mine? Now, that's a good one. Will You Be Mine? So we need that, Anita Baker. I'm just letting you know right now. I know I'm backtracking, but we need that. I do. I need that mid-tempo song again. I need that Will You Be Mine? Squeeze Me, Believe Me, Watch Your Step type of record from Anita Baker again. And I think she'll do a good job with Never Too Much. But going back, playing it from beginning to end and living up to the expectations of a Rapture album. Because it's not a diss to Anita Baker, but there's still yet in Anita Baker's catalog to me that there's that must-have song. I know a lot of us probably want to say that it's Sweet Love, and that might be true for most of us. And I do know that I would have to hear that song. And so if I'm ever in Anita Baker's concert, and unfortunately, I've never been to Anita Baker concert, and she has definitely been all up and around and near, my neck of the woods. I just never attended one. Anyway, moving on from that one. But I still don't see in her catalog a must-have song. What is your must-have song by Anita Baker? Now, I do like the song Whatever It Takes. Now, I will play that from beginning to the, oh my gosh, like Whatever It Takes. I think that's the record for me. But then on the Rhythm of Love album, she does You Belong to Me. Not the You Belong to Me on Giving You the Best That I've Got album. You Belong to Me on the Rhythm of Love album, the Carly Simon, right? Is it Carly Simon? You Belong to Me. Now she rips that to shreds. Like she does her thing on that one. And so then what we have from Anita Baker, she moves over from Rapture, and I was a tad bit disappointed, I must say, when she released Giving You the Best That I've Got. Because Giving You the Best That I Got to me was her closest to a jazz sounding album. But at the same time, it lacks, to me, it's a simplistic production, right? It's not over the top, and it's not lacking. It's more like, it's more about her interpretation of a song to me. Like, how would she approach a song if it was a jazz album, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's how I explain it. Yeah. Her interpretation of it. The closest to a jazz album that we probably would get. Just Because would be one of those must-have singles. I didn't think about that. But still, the more I think about it now, that's interesting. I never thought about it. I'm at the 20-minute mark. Let me wrap this up. But you know what? I never thought about this. You have Anita Baker, who, the Rapture album sold somewhere between 6 and 10 million copies. Am I right or wrong? And then she comes back out with the Giving You the Best That I Got album. And that does well. It sells upwards of about 6 million or so copies. Now, it's interesting that Anita Baker sold that many copies of her album without having a must-have single. Like usually an artist who sells that many records would have that bona fide hit single. That's it. I never thought about that. Isn't that interesting? What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about Anita Baker not having? We need to do that for her. Okay, you guys, this time around, I'm hoping, my fingers are crossed, that we give her that hit. You know what I'm saying? Like the official hit. Because I can see other artists who sold that many albums on a song, and I don't know. It just seemed like it's not that. I don't know. But then we move on over into, as I said, the Giving You the Best That I Got album. I'm sorry, let's stay there for a minute. Her approach to a song, an album, if it was going to be a jazz album. Not necessarily any song on there I must have, although I like Lead Me to Love, right? That's on there. Giving You the Best That I've Got, Just Because. What? And I think I was pretty much done after that. I don't think I really needed. Good Love. Good Love. I forgot about Good Love. Good Love is a song, but again, it's not that must-have record. Yeah. It's not, but that's another good one. Good Love is another good one. So I wasn't totally disappointed with the Giving You the Best That I've Got album. Although I think out of all the albums, and I'm talking about production, it's not my favorite production album. It's not. Then she moves over to, what is it? Compositions. Now, I've heard Anita Baker talk about compositions after it came out. And during the time when she was releasing Rhythm of Love. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she said something like her voice got lost in the production. It was pretty much focused heavily on the production than it was, really capturing her voice. And did she say something about the record being kind of dark and when I say dark, like dark, gloomy, and I liked the album, but it took me, if you remember Compositions when it first came out and she released Talk to Me, I think I understand what she mean, because it took me a second to get into Talk to Me, the single, because it was kind of gloomy, like it something about it, you hear it and you're like, okay. And at times you're not really, you're trying to really concentrate on what she's saying, and things kind of get lost in the mix to me. And I would think that also too with the Composition album, what I like about it is that this is the album where she's trying to sing again. because she is definitely singing her behind off on the Songstress album. But she's not singing her behind off again until the Composition album. Although I think she really put forth a strong effort with Songstress, the Songstress, but not, yeah. The Composition album is the one where I think everybody on the album is having fun. I really do. I love how she approaches, well, let's just say Michael J. Powell in his production. She could have had some involvement in it as well, as far as how she vamps out a song. And I like it on songs such as Lonely, Fairy Tales. Yeah, I'm liking that. What is it? Ooh, another song I have to hear by Anita Baker is a song called, is it More Than You Know? No, it's not More Than You Know. Oh, what's the name of that song? No One to Blame. That's it. No One to Blame on the Composition album. Oh my gosh. I love No One to Blame. So let's speed it up a little bit. I got roughly about 3 minutes. I think I could do it. With the Rhythm of Love album, to me, Body and Soul, Body and Soul, as good as it is, I like it a lot. What I'm doing is I'm thinking about Body and Soul and Sweet Love, and I'm trying to compare the two. And it's kind of like I'm appreciating both of them, both of the productions, both of the production of the songs, but I'm trying to think about Anita Baker's voice. And one doesn't necessarily outweigh the other, if you get what I'm saying. Like, even though she's approaching Body and Soul the way she probably would have approached, the way she approached Giving You the Best That I've Got and Just Because, and she's not kind of soaring through the track like Sweet, Sweet Love, still they're both even. And I think it has a lot to do with, again, her vocally. She whether she's being very, what's the word I'm looking for? She has an easy approach to me with Body and Soul. It's more like I'm not trying to really belt out the song the way she does with Sweet Love. I don't know. It's just a different feel. I don't know about you guys. It's not necessarily an album that I'm guilty. I have not played Rhythm of Love till this day. I have not played the entire album. I have not. Sorry. It's not that I don't like it. I have not gotten around to playing Rhythm and Love entirely. And it's not like, to me, it's a bad album. It's just, again, I have not. I probably need to do that one day, but I haven't. Now, that leaves us with a tie between Rhythm of Love and when she comes out with the My Everything album. Okay, let's talk about that album. It was a disappointment to me, I have to say. There's no way around it. It's a record that I can still play from beginning to the end, the My Everything album. But when I heard it, I'm saying to myself, like, something is missing. And I think the My Everything album it falls in the same category as the Giving You the Best That I Got album as far as production is concerned. It's kind of like it goes like, okay, let's not do this over the top production. Let's just really and truly keep it simple. And she goes with her tried and true method, the one that always worked for her. It continued to work to this day. I like it a lot. I think my favorite song on the album is "How Does It Feel." I do. I think maybe Gordon Chambers participated in the writing, or maybe some of the production on that one. I do. Gordon Chambers in How Does It Feel? I like that one a lot. I do. So we're gonna wrap it up here, but we're gonna wrap it up on this note because I don't want to go over 30 minutes. It's just what it is, and I'm over 30 minutes. Is it me? Or when Anita Baker came out with the best of Anita Baker? I'm just curious to know how many of you all purchased the best of Anita Baker, the album, the best of Anita Baker, and you still had all of the albums by Anita Baker? I still bought it. That's just how it is. I bought the record. I went in and bought the record knowing full well that I already had all of those songs. But hey, it was the fact that it was a Anita Baker record out, and I decided to go and purchase the record and support her, and I did. Did that. I think I'm going to talk more about Anita Baker again. She's definitely coming back up. You know, as I say, I have a different approach and a different take, than all the others. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, on that note, over here at Pepe La Vie, we believe in putting our behind where our hearts desires to be. Yes, we do. And we also know that whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I'm saying that to you. I appreciate your support. I love you, but I do know that God loves you best. And on that note, I'm looking forward to seeing you next video. That's right. See you next video. And until then, you all take care of yourselves out there.